Hello everybody. So last Friday we went to the Amherst Railway Society's Northeast Large-Scale Train Show in Springfield, Massachusetts. And those familiar with Springfield, Massachusetts, this was at the Eastern States Exposition, which is a huge fairground where they have the Big E every fall. So anyway, while we were there, we bought a few things, so we thought we would share our haul with you. Okay, so first up, we have 4 G-scale figures or 1/24th scale figures from American Diorama that we bought. So this is our first foray into American Diorama figures. They had a big display on them at the train show, so we saw some of the ones that we thought would work on our railroad, and we picked them up. So we have Precer and Woodland Scenics for the most part, as far as figures go. Yeah, so we saw these and picked them up. So we have a kind of a gas station, service station. It's actually the Pico Texaco station. And so we have a couple of mechanics for that, but they're really kind of more train mechanics. These are actual auto mechanics. So let's show you here. We got the big guy with the toolbox. Then we got the open shirt guy. He's carrying a wrench. And then we got the untucked shirt mechanic, and he's just got his arms folded across. And then lastly, we've got the 50s kind of looking guy there. We have a 5-window coupe, a hot rod in our gas station, and so this guy is going to be the new driver of that 5-window Ford coupe. So yeah, so these are kind of a new addition. We're not going to take them out of the package just yet because we're going to have to set them in some epoxy stands so that they will stand upright out on the railroad on their own. We've done a video on how to epoxy a while back, maybe a year ago or so at this point. But it's a kind of a long video, but maybe we'll just do a kind of a short and sweet how to epoxy bases to figures. Okay, so there you have it. We've got the 4 mechanics and 1/50s guy for our gas station on the G-scale railroad. Okay, next up is a 1964 Winnebago 216 from Greenlight. This is again a 1/24th scale reproduction, so this will be nice. We have on our railroad, we have a little recreational area with some campsites, and we have an Airstream trailer now, and then I think we have a tent site, and then kind of another trailer which I think is kind of lame, so maybe we'll replace it with this one here. They had a nice Shasta too that was the same scale, and yeah, we didn't buy it. I'm kind of regretting that, but and they were only, I think, $23. I've seen them a lot more expensive on different websites, but yeah, let's open it up and take a look at it. You can see it's got a nice awning there. So that just clips to the side. It looks like I can see the 3 slots for that from here. The door on this is a little janky, so I'm hoping that that goes right back on. You can see, well, when he puts it down, you'll be able to see. There, the door is a little off its hinges. Yep, there's some accessories there. We got a little, those little posts might be for the awning. We'll have to put it together to be for sure. And then there's a little trailer hitch. I think we got trailer hitches like that from our other 2 trailers as well. Yeah, so there's the little doors, kind of a little off its hinges. Now we noticed that when we bought it. There were 3 left. A guy in front of us grabbed the one with the good door, and then the 2 remaining ones, the doors were a little bit off their hinges. So again, it's just kind of sitting out there static in the Garden Railroad. Okay, so it took about 30 seconds to put the awning on here. So yeah, so we put the awning on, and let's give it a spin. Let's give it a look. That rear, it's got the nice It's got the nice Winnebago sign back there. Hopefully you can see it on the, let me zoom in here so you can get a good look at that there. Little sign says Winnebago right there. Nice. I almost hate to leave it out in the garden all summer. Okay, let's keep going. Here's the opposite side. You can see a couple little vents there on the roof. Nice gold trim around the wheels there. Got the marker lights there, which are nice. Another Winnebago logoing there, pretty cool. Gas tanks. And let's bring it full circle. And just another look there, kind of level. You can see the door was easy to fix. Actually, when we got out of the packaging, it just kind of rolled back on its hinges and looks pretty good. So yeah, we're very happy with this. This will look pretty cool out on the campsite, I think. Okay, next up is a piece of rolling stock that we bought from the train show. And this is a Coca-Cola product here, obviously. And it's made by LGB, made in Germany. So let's unbox it and see what's in it. All right, so this is a Sprite boxcar that we bought from one of the vendors. You can see, you might be able to see the little sticker on the top that says $75. We didn't pay $75. So the nice thing about this train show, or these train shows, are that you can always seem to talk people down. Now, you guys out there who go to train shows a lot and buy stuff a lot, you already know this. We are not, I think I've said this in the past, we're not toy dealers, or we don't know the value of things just off the top of our head. So when we go in there, we typically don't pay what the sticker price is, the advertised price is, but we're not sharp negotiators. We'll typically ask the people what their best offer is or what their best selling price is, and if I feel like we're not getting ripped off, then we usually go with that. So anyway, this is like I said, an LGB Coca-Cola product, Sprite in particular, and it's not a particularly rare car or anything like that, but we actually like Sprite quite a bit in this household. So when we saw this car and it was like right in front of us and wasn't too much money, we just asked the guy what his best offer was, and it seemed fair to us, so we picked it up. Okay, so let's take a quick detailed look at this. So yeah, I think this is a pretty nice looking car here. It's about 17 inches long from coupler tip to coupler tip. And in typical LGB fashion, you get a hook and loop coupler at one end, but you only get the loop at the other end. What we'll probably do is, like we do with all these cars, is put the hook at the other, we'll add the hook to the other end so that we have hook and loops at both ends. And then we're not kind of locked into the direction that we have to run the car in. So anyway, yeah, so there's a couple things here. It's got some nice detail here with this ladder work. It's got some detail on the top walkway, a couple of walkways here above the ladders. It is missing a little handhold here. Maybe it's in the box. We'll kind of go through the box and see if there's a small part missing. There is a brake wheel that's missing, but we have the wheel. We just have to figure out where it goes. Again, there's probably a post in there somewhere to go with that. So yeah, so color's good. I mean, it's not too faded. It's a little dusty on top. It's all plastic construction, all plastic wheels, I think, so no metal wheels here, but it's got some good detail on it with the suspension and all that. So yeah, let's give it a quick spin. Looks like we might be missing a handhold or a ladder rung or whatever you would call it down there. It's got a nice little detail here at the Sprite signage on the back. Keep going. And then this side here is completely the same as the other side. Got these little molded into the plastic. They're non-functional, but these little hatches up here at the top. This side here has the little handhold there. Looks like it's kind of coming out. We'll have to push that in. I'm sure that these things aren't hard to get. You can go on trains or only trains or something like that. You can probably pick it up pretty easily, just to make sure that the model is complete. And then there's sliding doors, and they are functional, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so like I said, this house enjoys Sprite and Diet Coke. So yeah, when we saw this, we thought we should pick it up. So anyway, that is our Sprite boxcar from LGB. All right, quick addendum here before we move on to the next thing. We found the little pole that goes with the brake wheel, and so that is the pole here, brake wheel on top. Now that looks a little tall. That is actually seated pretty good down here at the bottom, so I think the pole is in there right. But what we'll do is we'll take a look at some pictures of the same car online and see what that brake wheel height is supposed to be. It could even be a pole from another model, who knows. But yeah, so we got the pole. The brake wheel fits on top of that pole pretty nice, so if we need to adjust the height of that above the car, we'll do that. But yeah, so just a quick addendum to let you know that all the parts came with it, except maybe that missing thing on the other side, the little missing rung there. So yeah, okay. All right, last up for us is the biggest purchase of the day, and it is from LGB. So let's open it up and see what it is. So it's a little LGB 040, I believe, and I think that's an 040, and it has a tender, and both of these units are powered. So I think we'll have some fun with this. All right, that looks pretty good. There's a couple cables there that I believe you connect the locomotive to the tender with. I think it's for lights, I read somewhere, but we'll obviously test that out and figure out what that's for. Looks like there's some kind of a little plating there. Again, we'll figure out where that goes. This is really kind of our first detailed look at it. And there's a little part there that looks like it came off that we'll have to figure out where that goes and reattach that. Oh, I can see where it goes. It's right, one of the posts there right above the cow catcher there on the far side. Yeah, so we'll have to glue that back on. But yeah, so let's get on the turntable and let's give it a turn. Okay, let's just give each one of these separate units here just a quick turn while we have them on the turntable here. So this is the tender. As you can see, LGB green, the nice yellow paint job here with the kind of raised lettering there, LGB. So it doesn't have a railroad operator's signage on it. It's the manufacturer. But this is really kind of nice looking here. The coal load is really cool. It's got big, huge chunks of coal up there. Let's give it a turn. This is the rear end here. And as you can see, it came with those cables. Evan, why don't you put those cables in front of the camera there just so we can see them. I don't think we need to, we will plug those in with a test, but you can see there's positive and negative connections right there. I assume that could connect into, this is the rear end. So this looks like it could connect to a car or maybe another supporting locomotive behind it. We got a light on the back here, a couple air lines, buffer, and then the hook and loop coupler. Let's give it a turn. It's got some nice handholds here. Right on the top here, there's some tools sitting up here. They're fixed. You can't remove them, I don't think. Yeah, they're just kind of fixed up there as decoration, more or less. And then there's a little crank here. I assume that's the crank for maybe the door for the tender, for the coal. Yeah, not bad. And it's got nice kind of beefy undercarriage here. We got some step-ups here, suspension and all that. And this is a motorized unit again. So let's give it another turn. And then this is the side that faces the back of the locomotive. So this is the front of the tender, and you can see here again the coal load, and you've got the the doors and things like that. Now this coal load here, this coal is painted green, but it's the coal that kind of slides under, I guess, as it kind of works its way down. And then I assume the fireman kind of shovels it right out of here. But this coal here is green, not black like what's in the holder here. Got a little box over here, utility box. And then on the front here, here's again those positive and negative marked terminals. And then this is just a loop coupler here in the front, because it's just a little post on the back of the engine that will that you'll hook over that to connect the engine to the tender. All right, let's bring it around full circle. Let's just give a quick look at the top and the bottom. We don't have to linger too long on it. We can just kind of show it just for the... Yeah, so here's the top, and here's those tools lying up there. And then there's a little hatch here. I assume I think that's for water. And then again, the light. So let's take a look underneath. Little box right there, by the way. And looking from the bottom here, you can see the nice heavy metal wheels. This is a heavy little unit. Hook and loop coupler, and then the track contacts here. So just to give you a look underneath. Okay, so real quick, we'll just show the locomotive here. So it's kind of like one of those little Staines type of locomotives, except it is an enclosed cabin. Those Staines, I think, seem to be like open cabin. But so this is nice. It's got, again, the paint scheme carries across. You get the green, the yellow striping here. Lots of little details. Lots of nice linkage down here on the undercarriage here. Some of these connecting rods and so forth. Get a little paint detail here. It carries the number 6. Not sure why, but that's the locomotive number. We got some hatches up here for water, I would think. And got lots of little details here along the side. Looks like it has a smoke. Looks like it has a smoke generator there. What else do we got here? Just the LGB logoing again, not a train operating thing. It's all painted black. You get a little bit of silver paint job up there in the front of the boiler. And this one has a cow catcher up front, and it looks like it would slide right off, because we have a similar engine that we're going to show side by side here that we bought at a train show in Marlboro just a little while ago. It looks a lot like this. And it doesn't have a cow catcher on it, but I can see the slot on the front of it where a cow catcher could go. So we'll show you that. But let's give this a turn. Yeah, so here's the rear. It looks like you've got those. Again, here's where those connections are made on those little connecting cables here. Those terminals marked positive and negative in the back there. You got some oval porthole windows, some nice boiler detail in here. You've got the driver in there. This is the little hook that goes over the loop on the tender right here. And then you've got some roof detail here. You got a little vent, a little whistle you might be able to see from the side, and some handholds. They look a little dented in, unless that's the contour of them, but I don't know. They looks like they might be bent in just a little bit. So let's continue around. Again, for these small engines, we really like these small engines. There's a lot of detail on them and such a compact little design. So here we've got, again, that linkage is just really cool looking. We got a little bell feature here. Again, the whistle on the top, and then all of the top of the boiler, steam domes and whatnot, and funnel or chimney. Then you got the piston over here. So yeah, cool. So let's give it another turn. And there we are from the front. We're going to give this a test and make sure all the lights work on it. At that Marlboro show from last year I was talking about, they had a place where you could actually test your purchases out before you committed to buying them. This train show didn't have that. So we're just kind of going on faith with some of these purchases here. So hopefully they'll work out. But again, nice view from the front. This cowcatcher looks a little, compared to the detail in the rest of it, the cowcatcher looks a little cheesy. Might even remove that, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, it looks like it just pulls off a little tongue that sticks out here. You know, it's like a slot on the cowcatcher that it just pushes onto a protrusion there, if you will, on the engine. But yeah, lots of detail and lots of asymmetry. So there's like some, mechanics on this side that aren't on this side, and you get this unit here that's not over here. So I kind of like that type of thing. But then lots of bolt work in the, on the various pieces of steel and iron here. So let's bring it around one more time. Yeah, good looking engine. Let's give it a look from the top and from the bottom real quick. Yeah, so there's your view from the top. Again, you got the decking here with the mechanics and all that, and all the kind of machinery, for lack of a better term, on top of that, some of the components. And then you've got the oval hatch here, the square hatch over here. All right, let's. Oh, you got these nice little visors over the windows. That's kind of a nice detail. All right, let's flip it over and take a look at the bottom. So, not a ton of detail to speak of here, but metal wheels, of course. And then you've got the track, things that make contact with the track there. A couple access screws, that type of thing. But yeah, no real kind of modeling detail. But just to give you a look at the bottom. Okay, so here's the locomotive and the tender together. So let's just take a quick look at that and give it a spin. All right, there you go. The LGB 040 steam locomotive and the powered tender that goes along with it. Okay, before we finish up here, we thought we would give you a look at our two LGB 040s side by side. When we first bought this one here, which is the one we just reviewed and the one that we got at the train show this past weekend, I was thinking, boy, except for the cow catcher, it might actually be the same engine as this one here that we bought just a little ways back over the winter. And but when you get them side by side, there is actually quite a few differences. So yeah, we'll give it a spin here, and you can see kind of the basic differences. The cow catcher is probably the most obvious thing, but there really isn't a structure up front here to put a cow catcher on. I thought that this little slot here, but this has a slot too. But you can see here the lanterns are different. The funnel shapes are different. It's just funny, when we were at the train show buying this, I couldn't really remember exactly what this one looked like, you know, because we haven't run them yet because it's been winter time and we're just getting into the spring now. But yeah, now that they're side by side, we can see there's quite a few differences, and they really aren't that, except for the fact that they're 040s, they got the same kind of paint scheme almost. They really aren't that different. So, I mean, they really aren't that similar. So let's just give it a quick spin while we're here and show you both. Again, this is the one we bought over the winter at the Marlborough, Massachusetts train show. I forget the name of that train show off the top of my head. And then this is the one we just bought at the large-scale train show over the weekend. The drivers look like they could be brothers. All right, so yeah, so that is the haul from the Amherst Railway Society Northeast Large Scale Train Show that was held April 28th and the 29th, I think, here in 2023. And with that, I think we're all done. See you in the next video.